Have you ever considered the fact that possibly the justice system would legally discriminate against you? Not because of a crime or the evidence presented. If not, you are unwittingly benefiting from what is known as white privilege. Simply being white gives you a better chance of getting a lesser charge or a better trial than any other factor in our justice system today. It's 2021, and yet a white person and a black person can commit the same crime and get a vastly different sentencing when it comes to punishment. But no one should really be surprised by that, considering the fact that the criminal justice system was built, honed, and established during the Jim Crow era. Recently, within the United States, a census reported that African Americans make up about 17.9% of the population, with 1/3 of those people making up the incarcerated population in America. Let's also consider that African Americans are 5.9 times as likely to be incarcerated than whites, and Hispanics are 3.1 times as likely. Justice doesn't seem very just when you look at it through that lens. And although slavery has been deemed unconstitutional, our current penal system has some disturbingly similar characteristics. Not only that, but the United States seems to operate with two distinct justice systems. One for wealthy people and one for people of color and poor people, which is disgusting in and of itself. That leads me to my next point, policing. If you've never worried about being killed during a traffic stop, you should consider yourself lucky. And that's another way that you benefit from white privilege. Being white means you are more likely to survive a simple traffic ticket than compared to if you were a minority. In recent years, black drivers have been somewhat more likely to be stopped than whites, but have been far more likely to be searched and arrested. And they were 3 times more likely than whites to be searched, 6 and 7% for Hispanics and blacks versus 2%, and blacks were twice as likely as whites to be arrested. Honestly, it's 2021, and this shouldn't even be an issue these days. And in recent times, there are names that you should know in regards to injustices served upon them. Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, Eric Garner, Elijah McClain, all black citizens, all killed by the police. The consequences are less now for police than they ever have been. Trials for police are less likely than they have ever been, and the ugly truth remains that if all those names had been white people, they would have survived. They wouldn't have been killed. And honestly, the reactions to those deaths would have been catastrophic had they been white. And the reason that leads me to another thing, Black Lives Matter. I'm not sure that this movement would exist had these people not been killed in the ways that they were. It is my sincerest hope that this movement can make the changes that we so desperately need. The Black Lives Matter movement was created in 2013 by Alicia Garza, Patrisse Cullors, and Opal Tometi. It has spearheaded demonstrations worldwide protesting police brutality and systemic racism that overwhelmingly affects the black community. And honestly, we're in a time that we should be far beyond racism. It shouldn't be this way. It makes me sick. It should make you sick too. We are using a system that was designed to keep people of color in their place, even though it is 2021, and we are benefiting from it. We must abolish this system. We need to change it because it is antiquated, and if the law only works for certain people, then it doesn't work for anybody. We must do better for all, and use this opportunity as a stepping stone to help erase racism as a whole and ensure a fair and just system to preserve and enforce the law correctly and equally. Thank you so much for listening.